You're listening to Greater Good Radio Hawaii. Please visit us online at greatergoodradio.com. Today's guest is Christine Camp Friedman, founder of the Avalon Development Company. She made a jump from a secure job with a large company to starting her own business that has ranked by Pacific Business News as one of Hawaii's top 5 real estate companies. Can you tell us, when did you get this feeling of entrepreneurship in your life? Because you did graduate from Kalani High School in your junior year?
I did.
So when did you know that you wanted to be an entrepreneur and, it's just time to graduate early and move on, start your life?
Well, I graduated from Kalani High School earlier because my desire to finish the most difficult classes ahead of everyone else. It was more competition than anything else. I was competing with myself. It had nothing to do with wanting to be an entrepreneur. It was more wanting to have a job. Because I came from a very economically disadvantaged setting, and I needed to work. I couldn't not work. And by graduating earlier, I thought I could go and find a full-time job earlier and really contribute to the finances. So it wasn't really a choice, and it wasn't about being an entrepreneur at that time. Where I felt that I wanted to was because I saw the possibility. I saw the possibility of this one man on his own, using his own resources, doing it in a very small scale and becoming so financially successful and contributing to his community and taking care of his family and balancing his life. And I liked that life. And I felt that it was possible. If he could do it, he was someone who came from a very impoverished economic background as well, but he did it all on his own. I thought if he could do it, then I could. So it's all about seeing somebody else who had similar situation as you did, and seeing them really succeeding and saying, wow, if that person somehow found a way, I know that I can find a way. That was that connection, that connecting the dot. I connected the dot within the first year of working for this man.
So what was the hardest thing about starting your own business then?
There's several. I mean, I think back to when I first started, I always knew of my own capabilities. But I didn't know how to price myself. Because, when you go and find jobs, they set your salary for you. And, you negotiate for a few $1,000s more and you negotiate for your bonuses. So you really never know what you're worth in an open market. And you hope to make at least your salary if you're leaving a secure job. And then, hope for the upside. But when people are hiring you for your expertise, it's so hard to price yourself. And I felt so flattered that other people would hire me for my expertise, that I kept undercharging for my services, where I was actually losing money for the jobs that I was doing, where I was working I was giving so much more value than I was being paid for. And so the hardest thing was pricing myself correctly. That's on a service level position. The second part about being hardest on going on your own, unless you have a source of capital. An entrepreneur and starting any business is about being well capitalized. I thought I was well capitalized in the sense that I had enough to live on and not have to depend on a salary for 2 years. And that is pretty significant. I thought that was a pretty significant feat for someone under 30, just having 30 to have saved and be able to use it for my business's resources. But you could not expand or really test your ideas unless you'd had a lot of money. Real true capital behind, not just your living expenses and your overhead, but true capital behind applying your ideas. And my company was a real estate development company. Development meant acquiring land and finding money to buy properties and securing them. It was the most difficult thing. That was really, really hard. It's about raising capital.
So how did you overcome that and actually develop those skills then? How did you develop the skill to price yourself properly and then the skill to raise capital?
One, I decided to focus in a different percentage. I wanted to be 80-20 in the sense that when I started, I would spend 80% of my time doing developments, 20% of the time working for others as a consultant. I decided to build up my experience by using other people's projects as a baseline. And so I switched to 80-20 rule, 80% for other projects to raise the capital that I needed, and also to show what my capabilities were in an open market so that those clients would become my partners. and capitalize my projects, and spend 20% looking for my own opportunities. And when I mean by opportunities as a development company, you're looking for a pipeline of projects. So I used the 80-20 rule, and it helped me in two ways. One was as I did more and more projects with others, they recognized my value in that I was indispensable in their opinion. So no matter how, I kept charging more and more because my time became more and more precious. And my explanation was, I had to turn down the work. And if you wanted my focus, you had to pay 10 times more than what you were paying me. And by golly, what I realized is that they actually valued me more because I was more expensive in that sense. The product was valued more because of the pricing. And there was more respect. And in addition to that, it allowed me to raise more capital for my own projects. Mm-hmm. And those clients who relied on my expertise felt that I was sufficiently experienced enough in their way of dealing that they would allow me to be their partners.
Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned for more on Greater Good Radio.